Every actor runs into a problem with a line in a script that they have a difficult time remembering and saying properly. Sometimes it is jargon that is medical or legal, some jargon that you don't usually use in your normal life. So when you run into these lines that make you slow down and pause and make you afraid that you're going to forget your lines in the scene, the best thing you can do is actually run them before you actually get in there. So running them 100 times, 200 times, seriously, run those lines as much as you can so that they just become part of your natural rhythm. Now at the same time, you still might get in front of that camera or in front of that camera crew or in that audition, and you might still not have a good time with that line. What I recommend is that you slow down. You don't have to run through the line. You don't have to pace through it. Sometimes people slow down and think about what they're saying and take their time when they're saying it. And there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to do that as a character that needs to think about what they're saying at that moment and slow down. Background players are the ones that are in deep background, sort of the people that are passing that we don't really even see their faces. Featured background are the people that we can actually identify who they are. And in particular, featured means people that are closer to the camera. So let's say we're in a restaurant scene and our stars are sitting forward and there's 2 tables behind them with 4 people sitting at those tables. We can see their faces, they're featured. But the passing waiters and waitresses and the chef that goes by, those are background. This is a great question, and really important now in the days of us doing so many self-tapes. So when you're doing a self-tape, you're doing a close-up, right? The shot is in like this. So it's very important that you don't move too much. The camera loves stillness. In a close-up, stillness gives you power. Stillness allows the camera to see into your eye and believe that you are the character. So when you're in a close-up, we stay still, we stay focused, we keep our eyes available so that the camera can see us. And we don't do a lot of movement because it looks weird when people are moving too much on a camera. You're in the focus, you're out of the focus. It just doesn't look good as I just showed you. So the stillness is powerful in a close-up. But then when you're in a medium shot, well, the camera's further away. So that gives you room to, actually move an arm or pick up a glass or to take a jacket off or to cross your legs or to do something physical that is medium, not too big, not too grabby of attention, but looks comfortable and natural. You do want to make those natural movements. And then finally, in a wide shot, you should move because stillness in a wide shot, it looks almost like death. It looks like dead, like something stopped someone. So you want to be able to keep moving in some way, either the small movements that you created for the medium or the even bigger than that, like a 99-seat theater kind of movement, understanding that when they come in for the close-up, you can be still, right? So they'll be cutting between the different shots. So it's very important that you practice those things and that you know those things before you get on set. Stillness is the hardest thing to learn if you're a theater actor. That's a hard one for theater actors to let go of the up and out performance of a theater. On camera, down and in is best. So stillness, once you've learned it, is gold. And remember, in stillness, it isn't that you're doing nothing. It's just that all that movement and all that fun that you've created is happening right between the temples. This is a little bit of a slippery slope, only because the new network agreements sometimes can sort of slippery slide this. But in general, a co-star is the smaller roles. Someone that's working in a store that helps you out, somebody that's serving you a coffee, somebody that's a waiter in the scene that actually has lines. Those are the co-stars. Guest stars are actually a bigger picture in the plot. So a top of show guest star is going to be your surprise murderer or your person that is moving the plot along for this script. The other smaller guest stars are going to be people that might be questioned about the murder, or they might have super important information, or they could be the wife of the murderer. Those people can be guest stars as well. Co-stars tend to be 1 to 2 pages. Guest stars are anybody that has anywhere over 3 or 4 scenes. Now, the slippery slope is sometimes they are giving co-star fees to people that are actually more like guest stars, but it's all within the boundaries of your SAG contract. So make sure you look at your SAG contract and make sure that you are within the boundaries. My recommendation is to use your phone and to use your recording on your phone and to record the scene 3 ways. You can do it by rote, you can read the lines and do them by rote, that's sure, but I find that harder. For me, it's this. You take the scene and you read it 3 times into your recording. First time through, you read all the lines, everybody's lines, so you hear the scene how the audience is going to hear the scene. You hear the arc of the scene, you hear the climax of the scene, you hear all of the scene played out. You don't stop recording, keep letting it roll, and then you go back and then you read just your lines, leaving space for you after to echo back to the line. So you hear your line, echo back to it, hear your line, say it back, hear your line, say it back through the whole scene. Leave the recording running, and now just read the other actor's lines, leaving you space to put your lines in. You loop that a bunch of times, and for me, if I loop that 10 times, I've got it. So you get that great role that you've always wanted, and you're working opposite one of your favorite actors. That's fantastic. The problem is that you can't be a fan on set. If you got the role, that means that the director and the casting and all the office, they believe that you are equal to all the other actors on that set. If you go in and sublimate yourself to those other actors, that's not a good look. It doesn't look good to you, and it doesn't look good to them. You are an equal actor. They're just ahead of you on the curve. And now it's nice to be working with them. So the worst thing you can do is be a fan on set. Never be a fan of anyone on set. Now, if an actor that you're working with is really important to you, by all means, you can write a note to them, a card to them that you can pass to them after you finish shooting. And they'll probably really appreciate it. They'll appreciate that you were a professional, and it'll also change the way they look at you. If you are a fan from the beginning, you're putting them up on a pedestal, and that makes them uncomfortable because now it's a fan relationship as opposed to a fellow artist relationship. And we want you to be the fellow artist. So don't be a fan on set.